Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? Ayy, coming down like precipitation. I ain't never met a limitation. Hate plotting my elimination. Gotta go to Google for the information. I'm a superstar, so I gotta shine. Top dollar be the bottom line.
What is up, and happy Saturday. We are live here, of course, Inside Board TV. This is a special episode brought to us by Shatterline and Faraway as we jump into an AMA here at the top of the hour. But before we get started, Justin and I wanted to jump on and give you a little bit of an intro and talk through some stuff that maybe they don't hit necessarily. That's more Web3 focused, but we are super excited. Justin, man, I know you've played the game. I know obviously we've both been part of the Faraway discussions and you know, holding heavy metals and playing those different games. How excited are you to learn a little bit more from this AMA?
Oh, bro, I'm stoked. I'm excited for all the updates. I know there's a gargantuan amount of things coming through the door. But honestly, just had a fun time dropping into my first expedition, like, I don't know, a couple days ago. And I was just getting my apples destroyed. I was just getting wrecked by the by the glass. But I mean, the gameplay is great. I mean, the movement is like really good. You know, it runs smooth at 60 FPS. I probably have to raise that a tiny bit higher, but yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be really good.
No, it'll definitely be a lot of fun. And as you talked about your first experience with the gameplay, I mean, shoot, we might as well show your ass getting smoked here. So let's pull up this little video.
Oh no!
Of Justin's first gameplay.
Okay, that's concerning. Let's go. Oh wow, he just popped in the first shot. Amazing. Okay, we pick E to pick up. Ah! Oh my god! What the fuck? Run! Okay. Press E to fuck! Oh my god. Okay. Wow, I'm at 20 HP. Incredible. I probably should have cleared the I should probably clear them. Ooh, is it medic? Okay, I don't know. Maybe I just regen. Amazing.
So again, the gameplay,
man.
I'll be honest with you, if we would have had gameplay of Boomer Phil playing, it probably would have been much worse. I've not had my gaming trigger fingers working here in the last few years. So man, looks super clean, looks great. When people think about Web 2 games that are doing some Web 3 integration, I mean, this is really what we should be looking forward to, because this looks like, again, legitimate gameplay. So Justin, before we jump into this AMA, which will start in about 10 minutes, and thanks for being here. If you haven't yet, make sure you retweet, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, share this video to all that you know, because again, we'll be listening into the AMA from Shatterline's Discord here at the top of the hour. But Jesus, what's up, my guy? A couple pieces of information, bullet points that are more Web3 specific, and I'm just going to throw you a bullet point, and then if you want to open it up a little bit more, you can. But of course, we'll keep this very top level. But again, this is more for the Web3 centric people. So first and foremost, for those of us that grinded that MF and Forge, those heavy metal MFers out there, yo, integration, aka utility for heavy metals. If you hadn't seen the trailer from Shatterline, you can see the little heavy metal helping you in your quest. So Justin, at a very basic level, what does this mean for those people, you know, holding those heavy metals?
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be awesome to just kind of see the shared IP inside of the game. But again, I don't think it's going to touch like competitive. So, you know, that's always super critical for like a really good game and like the balance. Like,
yeah,
you know, when I have other games too, it's like I really care about the balance. So I definitely don't want things to get kind of unbalanced and weird. But, you know, it's just nice to see that integration. You know, we should see a lot more. I mean, heavies, I mean, we got a game to play, and we can, you know, bump those numbers up and actually like showcase the gameplay and, you know, post it on social media. And, you know, it's just it's a pretty good improvement over the Forge. You know, people are looking forward to, you know, some action, you know, in a format that they're familiar with. So I'm excited. I can
agree.
Back to you, Phil.
Agree for sure. And so as we talk about it, let's watch the little trailer. Heyo.
Yo.
And what was that we just saw at the end? So again, a little bit of tease, but again, cool to see the heavy metals. Like you said, just being part of a game, that's a massive plus. Let's go to the second thing. Of course, maybe, or things that people are, really interested in is rewards, prize pools, points, other traceable content. This is PvE and PvP. So can you talk a little bit about, and we don't know all the details, but what do you think, rewards, prize pools mean to those that, are looking for that extra little incentive to play an amazing game?
Hey, I mean, rewards and prize pools are pretty standard in like game tournaments and stuff like that. So, I mean, whether it's, Web 2 or Web 3, I mean, the game player can just like participate in that. So, that's going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited for that. I actually have no idea how big that will be again, but we'll probably have to take a look at a different tweet at some point. We'll definitely break that down. But yeah, curious to see what they say about the.
It's like anything is
like
better
the
than
AMA.
nothing, right? It's like
Right? Yeah,
anything
for
is better
sure.
than- It's like, okay, cool. I have a chance to, if you're a gamer, if you're somebody that, high quality gamer, you got a chance to go compete, which is awesome. We saw that with Dookie Dash too, as you saw just all over the timeline. Because you were competing for these things, these prizes, these points, whatever it may be, and it doesn't always have to be monetary. But what it is you're giving people that little carrot at the end of the stick, and you already have an awesome game. If you get a carrot on the end of the stick as well, like why the hell wouldn't you like at least attempt to try to play it and see what you think? So the third point we have here, and again, we'll get started at the AMA in about 5 minutes. It is a good front door to Web3, and this is something that's super close to my heart because the reason I got into Web3 and stayed so quickly was because of exactly what Dapper Labs did with Top Shot. What they did was it was a super easy and great front door for people that had no clue, anything or very little about blockchain and wanted to just, collect something or do something, or in this case, play a game. This is a great front door to Web3, a vector for growth. And then there is some information that will be coming here with content creators or people that are, driving folks to the game. And we won't get into the weeds there yet. But man, Justin, just the idea that this is being a great front door to Web3. What are your thoughts there?
Hey, yeah. So I totally understand, totally get it. And I would say, the core gameplay is not going to get changed or anything like that. We're just going to have cool, more cool stuff to just have as companions or on the side, just collectibles, I would say. And there's probably some ways that they're going to explain inside the AMA that kind of, discusses like how that's going to work inside of, the game, whether, how that affects the economy too. So again, we'll just have to see. We're like 5 minutes to the jump here. So I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty hot topic here.
We are biting all of our fingernails off. So, and then the last thing, I'll let you open this up a little bit, and then we will go into the Discord and chop it up until they go live. But there is a very fun little thing happening with some fantasy trading cards, if you will. Being able to place your bets on your horse, or in this case, your pro gamer. Man, Justin, can you open that up just a little bit? Take the curtain back slightly. I think this is a really cool concept.
Yeah, so I feel like there's going to be something interesting there with, I remember Zucchini posting about the heavy metal and Shatterline rewards overview. He posted it on Twitter, I believe. And he said they were adding a spectator fantasy sports style feature so that those that aren't as competitive can still win prizes by picking and collecting their favorite pro players in a fantasy draft. So seems like there's going to be some, I guess it'll be kind of like game sports betting. So that's kind of funny. Curious how that will work. I'm not necessarily that good at FPSs. It's been a while, so kind of rusty, as evidenced from earlier in the show. But yeah, I mean, that'll pull in more people that are just interested in watching, or if they're just at work and they just want to watch their favorite streamer, they can definitely do that. But we'll just have to see how that impacts everything, how that synergizes with like the rewards and just more players in the game. That's definitely I want to see. I want to see more people. I want to see heavies playing the game. I want to see everything. Joe said, "Put your money on me, other guide." Okay, let's go. We'll see. Oh man,
I just think it's like a natural fit though, because when I think about Web3 and a lot of the people that ended up here, a lot of them are interested in, like, let's just be honest and very transparent. A lot of the people are interested in the gambling aspect, and that could be through. I mean, Zed Run. Look at Zed Run. How big did Zed Run get? what were you doing? You were buying horses. You were betting on those horses basically by purchasing them, making more horses, and then racing them. You think about all the fantasy. Shout out to Boris and Richard from Bored Ape Family with their Web3 fantasy football draft. There's all these things that have been happening that feels like just natural synergy there. And so I love the idea of being able to bet on your pro streamer. And Joe says, put your money on him. And I think we'll learn more, of course, but there's going to be some incentives there for those gamers to do good too. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the Discord. Make sure we don't miss anything. I don't think I have yet. Let me take a look. And doesn't look like we're missing anything quite yet. We'll continue wrapping and we'll keep an eye on that. But again, I just love, it's just a 4-point little carrot to the more Web3 centric people, because I think naturally this AMA will be focused a lot with the core gaming community that, has, enjoyed this game and some of the early iterations, etc., and trying to explain some of the stuff to them. So for the Web3 fam out there that are watching us, maybe on X, if you're watching us there, make sure you retweet, like, follow us, obviously, on X. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. But number one, heavy metal integration at the very simplistic way is it's a game that's fun that we can play, and heavy metals are integrated. I mean, that's dope. And without further ado, I don't want to miss anything. We're going to jump in here and check to see if they started talking. 1 second. We'll continue talking over them until they start. But we don't want to miss anything. So we will be here in the Discord, ready and prepared.
It's packed in here. Holy moly.
We're rolling. And again, if you haven't joined the Shatterline Discord, you should. Actually, in the YouTube description, if you're watching on YouTube, the link to the Discord is there, so you can check it out. So again, number one, heavy metal integration. You get a fun game to play that integrates your heavy metal. Number two, rewards, prize pool, points, different ways to earn via PvE and PvP. Number three, it's a great front door to Web3. You're, again, peeling back the curtain just slightly to make sure that people are starting to maybe, if they want to, take a peek more of what Web3 has to offer. Some of that also has to do with creators driving audience to the game. And number four, fantasy trading cards, placing your bets on your favorite pro gamer to see if they're freaking good or if they suck. So if I'm not a pro gamer, if I ever have one of these fantasy cards, man, if you buy mine, it's all for the laughs, because I'm kind of like a kamikaze style. I'll just run out there and I'll be dead in like 10 seconds. So
hey, everybody, can everybody hear me okay?
Here we go.
Nastia, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, nice. Working. There we go. Had a little bit of a microphone here. We have a chat for the stages, right? Yeah, I see the chat.
Oh yeah, the Guild of Bryson's going to be epic. It's cool.
Again, we like this. We want more games. We want more experiences. And so this is great. And so again, here, if you're just tuning in, we are going to be streaming this Q&A with Faraway.
Okay, guys, so let's probably start. Thank you for coming for our Q&A. That's really cool. I'm Andrei. You might remember me from our previous sessions. I'm one of Frog Labs founder and executive producer. Here with us today, guys from Faraway, Alex and Spencer. I think you probably saw them already talking to you in our Discord chat. And yeah, so I believe there will be a lot of questions today. So
let's do it.
Yeah. So let's start.
Let's go. I'll introduce myself, and then Spencer can introduce himself. So yeah, I'm Alex. I'm one of the co-founders of Faraway. Been gaming for a while. Worked with Spencer for quite a long time at companies like Glue, which is now part of Electronic Arts. And then most recently, before Faraway, we were at Scopely together, where we worked on mid-core games, like mid-core RPGs. So yeah, excited to be here, and yeah, excited for all the questions today.
Cool. And yeah, I'm Spencer. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Faraway, and I've been in gaming for about 20 years. I've worked on PC, MMOs, actually shooters too, as well as mobile stuff, our free-to-play product and RPGs, and pretty much all kinds of different things. But glad to be here.
Cool. I guess, should we give people a little bit of time to funnel in, or just get started?
I'd say we should just kick it off. I'm sure more people will come in over time.
Cool. Okay, let's do it. So I think the big question is, why are we partnering, and what is Faraway's role in all of this? So I think while we're partnering is we want to bring new players into Shatterline. We think it's an amazing game. I think it just needs more players and new types of rewards, and I think that's sort of the function of Web3. I think when a lot of people think about what Web3 is, what NFTs are, they have a reputation to them, right? But in reality, like what Web3 is to us is a new way to bring in awesome communities to the game, starting, of course, with our heavy metal community, and then a new way to provide rewards to players that can be traded, sold, used in other games, sort of do whatever they want with them. So that's really the focus around, why we're partnering, and then what we're really doing with Web3, which is just about bringing new communities into the game and then giving out different types of rewards. By the way, guys, feel free to ask questions in this chat. The stuff that's in English, I can read. The stuff that's not, I cannot. I see this. I see the channel. So yeah, if there's a bunch of questions, I'll try to answer them as best I can. I guess Spencer, Andre, anything else you want to add to that? Sort of, why we're partnering, and then I can just talk more about the exact Web3 integration.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just maybe reiterate, maybe add a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, our goal here is growth, growing the game, growing the community, growing the audience, and then really honestly disrupting kind of the games industry as a whole, and kind of also disrupting, I guess, the kind of blockchain tech industry as well. So we're really focused on things that are adding to the experience, not detracting from the experience for the long term, and ultimately giving players more reason to play ultimately. So one of the ways I describe it, if you think about traditional gaming, this applies across board, console, mobile, you name it. Basically how you get the word out is you turn around and you give companies like Facebook or ad agencies money to promote your content, and banner ads and streams and whatever else. Our approach here is somewhat different. We want to invest in the players and pour sort of our energy and shared sort of upside back into the player base. And we believe that that's going to be a more retentive, sort of more engaging approach, and could potentially disrupt sort of the games industry as a whole. If you're creating really great experiences, you're not damaging those experiences, you're prioritizing the things that the players want prioritized, but at the same time, you're sharing the upside. So that's kind of the idea, the strategy.
Yeah. So I guess go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, we at FrogLab, we actually talked to different people from Web3 world, and why we love Faraway, because these guys they are building sustainable ecosystem, and the idea that they bring us, we actually believe in them, and we believe that our partnership will make Shatterline better, and will help both of us to expand our horizons.
Yep, agreed. So yeah. I mean, I think, like I was saying, with NFTs, it's really just about bringing new passionate communities to the game and offering new types of rewards that we couldn't do, in the traditional sense. So there's no power advantages in PvP. There's nothing that would damage the current game in terms of what players would expect from a good Shadowline experience. So I mean, maybe just tapping more into what Web3 is. Web3, blockchain, NFTs, whatever you want to call them. It's just a technology. People use this technology in different ways. The way that we use it at Faraway is to create these like interoperable experiences. So at Faraway, we consider ourselves as having like this ecosystem of like interoperable games and products. And one way to create this interoperability and to move people to new and cool experiences is to give utility to those people's NFTs in like a lot of different types of experiences. So that's Heavy Metals playing in Shatterline is one source of that. To play Shatterline, you don't need to have any sort of blockchain wallet. You don't need to have any tokens. You don't need to have any NFTs. Like Spencer was saying, this is additive, not subtractive. And guys, I see all this stuff in the comments. Like, we're gonna go through a few questions that we got the feedback form first, and then we'll open it up. So we see everything, but we're gonna go through some stuff first. So how will this work? Basically, will new additions lead to pay to win is one of the questions that we got. Will free-to-play players suffer? There's no heavy metal integration or blockchain integration in PvP at all. I assume this is where a lot of the concern is coming from. Like, PvP is being left alone. Like, we believe that it's important to, preserve the, competitive integrity of the game. Another question we got is, will it be easier to earn money in ladders or tournaments having heavy metals? There's going to be leaderboards for PvP and PvE. In PvP, like I just said, heavy metals don't have a role, so those are left unchanged. In PvE, those have leaderboards. Heavy metals will have, power advantages or support advantages. But of course, if you are a person that's playing PvE a ton and you unlock, all of the different skill trees and all of the different abilities, you'll be just as competitive. One question, another one is, will the current lore be rewritten? No. Will heavy metal bring map changes? This is maybe a question for Andre, but I don't believe so, at least not in the short term. Go ahead.
Yeah, no map changes in context of gameplay. Probably will add some Easter eggs related to Heavy Metal universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what will you do with the heavy metals? Are they going to be OP? No, the answer is no. Like, we're being pretty careful to make it, like I said, an additive experience where it's fun for heavy metal holders, but it's not unfun for the regular players. What we're looking for is to really, merge these two communities together. Those people that have heavy metals or are interested in Web3 mechanics, and of course the traditional competitive gamers, which is the existing Shatterline community. So what if I don't want to see somebody's drone, for example? Can you hide it? Not currently. Cool. So now I think another big category has been around, or not category of questions, has been around player acquisition. Like, what are we doing? Like, both Faraway and Frag Lab, from a marketing push standpoint, advertising, bringing new players in. One big thing that we're doing collectively is having these prize pools for both players and for creators. So prize pools for players can be paid out via leaderboards, via tournaments. This is to really make it attractive for the traditional gamer crowd that really wants to compete, whether it's in PvP or PvE. And then from a creator standpoint, we want to incentivize other creators to bring people into the game. So there's prize pools specifically for creators. These can be content creators, streamers, et cetera, But basically, we want people bringing other people into the game from whatever avenue they can bring them. Spencer, is there anything else you want to add there?
Yeah, I think, just to kind of, again, reinforce what was said, we're going to be funding various different things, prize pools, creator content, shared sort of revenue. Like, we posted some key talking points on that, but for influencers, again, kind of trying to cut out the middleman. We'll carve out some net revenue. We'll share it with the influencers that drive the most audience into the game. I saw some questions in chat, like where is the revenue for this coming from? It's coming from us, from Faraway. So it's an investment in the game. That's like part of our relationship here, is helping to grow the game and helping to support the creators of content and the players. I think the other thing to note, so I saw a lot of, is it going to be pay to win? Like, no, we're going to balance the drone use. It's not going to be like OP. It's not going to damage the playability of the experience. It's not going to make you crush everybody else. Skill's still going to be the penultimate sort of determining factor in gameplay. But of course, if you don't have, one of those NFTs, you don't have a drone. But that's pretty much it. So it's a relatively light integration with that. But it is something that's pretty material in terms of like having a companion that can fly around and shoot, sort of like an AI, kind of like just like Destiny. That's kind of the idea. As for
about this fantasy element, because one of the big things, I'll just say, one of the big things in Web3 is there's the game, but there's always this meta or economic layer that forms around the game. Sometimes people are lending out their assets to other people to compete. But for us, one of the things that we're doing is adding this fantasy sports layer to the game. This will exist completely out of the game, but it'll keep people involved that wouldn't necessarily be the most competitive on leaderboards, but still want to participate in the game and game economy. So Spencer, maybe you can describe that.
Yeah, I can describe that. So think of it as, pro players basically have cards. Those cards are of them as like a pro player. So it's like your card. It's your NFT card. People can acquire those cards. They can play basically a fantasy sport version of the game with the stats. Think of it as like the pro player that's playing, their performance determines that card's performance. And people can basically stake those cards and play the game without really playing the game, right? So they can basically play on a kind of like proxy vicariously through that pro player. And the cool thing with the pro players is, if the pro players are winning and they have a lot of people that are picking up their cards, then they also get rewarded and they don't have to do anything. And again, this doesn't affect game balance at all. What it does do is it creates a layer for people that are, spectating to basically play fantasy sports. So it's like fantasy sports on top of like baseball or football or whatever else. And that's another kind of like cool integration that doesn't really touch the gameplay directly, but does deliver something that's actually pretty interesting to the Web3 community and should be beneficial to the players as well.
I think interesting to everybody, really. It's just, not everybody's competitive. And we clearly have some, awesome people even in this Discord, room alone that are quite good at the game. And if I want to speculate that they're going to win the leaderboard event or win the tournament, like, it's fun to be able to speculate on that. I see some people saying, "Can I get my card now?" Not quite yet, but it'll be coming. But yeah, this is just another example where this meta, like economic layer, can really add value to the game and bring in players that might not otherwise play like a super competitive PvP game or PvE game. Cool. I'll move to the next category of questions, and we can always leave more. We'll always come back to this stuff. So if you guys have questions, like please save them, and we'll chat more about this when we start bringing people on stage. Why are we leaving Steam and moving to the Epic Game Store? Steam bans games with NFTs. They're extremely litigious when it comes to this, so it's a lot safer to do this integration on the Epic Game Store. Next thing, as far as inventory migration from like Steam to Epic Game Store, we're going to propose a few options, but we're doing quite a lot of like rebalancing of content and content sources. So a full migration is realistically not realistic, but we're going to propose some options for players so they can, basically the Steam players will be able to choose like from a set of options, like how we handle this account migration, because maybe there's some things we can do for some players here. Spencer, Andre, anything else you want to add here?
Yeah, I see people asking if Shatterline ever gonna back to Steam. We still keep this option. Like, we really want to get back to Steam, but when probably Steam either changes its policy or we'll find some way to keep like 2 separate SKUs. But at the moment, we are focusing on delivering Shatterline to Epic Game Store.
Yep, I think that pretty much covers it. So Steam's definitely still on the cards in the future. Would require some changes from the platform, from a policy position, obviously. But we'll keep that kind of in mind as well if there's a path there to kind of bring it back. That aside, as far as moving and migrating, we'll present some options and provide those to the community so that they can decide on like which of those they would like to see when it comes to kind of accounting for prior effort and those sorts of things.
Cool. And then I guess as far as new game content, yeah, I think one thing to really clarify here is just because we're introducing Web3 elements, that does not mean that neither Faraway or Frag Lab teams want to see the game continue to get improved. I think this is just about like order of operations, and I think for us it's bringing in like us being like both our studios. Just how do we bring in more players? What mechanics do we introduce to bring in those players? And then yeah, we'll talk more about and answer questions more about like how we see the trade-offs in mechanics and the investment in PvP in PvP versus PvE. So yeah, just to repeat, like investing in the Web3 side of things does not mean that there won't be future investment in the Web2 side of things or traditional gameplay side of things. Well, then I know a hot topic. Maybe Andre, I'll let you talk about this console release. I'll let you go for this, and I'll chime in.
Yeah, sure. Like those who with us for a while might remember that we actually had a beta test on PS4 like a year and a half ago. So yeah, like consoles is an interesting thing. We definitely think about it, but still we're not there because we have to make the game perfect on PC first. Like it doesn't make sense to go there until we are happy with what we have on PC. So PC is our main focus right now.
Yeah, nothing to add from my side except that I agree. It totally makes sense to like do a good job on PC first before expanding to other platforms. And then one thing that I'll personally clarify: there's been some questions about us working together for 2 years on this. I think somewhere there was like a misinterpretation. So we first started talking to the Shatterline team in general. This was back in 2022. And we were exploring, what a blockchain integration could look like. But back in 2022, it just wasn't the right time. They were focused on gameplay, and that was the right decision. And then in 2023, again, like focused on gameplay, and that was the right decision. But we kept exploring, and eventually, something made sense. And we, again, like everybody here, like everybody on the Frag Lab or on the Faraway teams, everybody wants to see, more players come to the game. And I assume players also want to see more and different types of rewards, come to the game as well. So even though we've been exploring something since 2022, nothing was implemented until more recently. So hopefully that clarifies it. Andre, anything else that you feel is worth clarifying, or Nastia, anything from the community that you feel is some open questions that I can probably clarify a bit?
I think it's like I have nothing to add here.
Cool. And yeah, I think almost every studio in the world has experimented with, what does it look like to introduce NFTs or fungible tokens into their games, whether it's, big AAA studios or indie studios. The same way, whenever a new technology comes around, whether it's NFTs or AI, everybody is always trying to see what a new technology can add to, an existing game design. So yeah, I think NFTs are very interesting, which is why, we are doing this integration right now. So I think it will definitely introduce a new set of players and a new type of economy to form around Shatterline. Amazing. So Nasta, do you think it makes sense to start bringing some people up on stage?
Yes, please. Danke, since this is waiting for quite some time. Let's start pulling them up.
Cool. Who's the stage bringer upper person?
Hello.
There we go.
So my question is, obviously now we've got some sort of funding and sort of publishing and new partners and whatnot. As Shatterline players, what are we actually going to receive on launch? Because at the moment the game is super starved from a lot of features, a lot of content, etc. So it would be really nice to see if there's any plans for something that's going to be guaranteed, content, features, whatever, for the release.
Yeah, I think we chatted a little bit about this. I think
yeah, we did indeed.
Yeah, I mean, what we need from players, and I would just say this to everybody, and Dick, maybe you can just continue to reaffirm this, is we want feedback right now. Like, so everybody, if there's feedback on here are the highest priority things you would love to see in a relaunch, like, please, let us know this feedback. Like, we will then go through it. We will see what like low hanging fruit there is, like, highest impact type of stuff. And then, we will, of course, like, talk to the community. I think the one thing we do promise is transparency here. So we'll sort of tell you how we're thinking about different features. Our goal, again, is bringing in new types of players and then keeping them in the game. So any specific mechanics or any specific ideas you guys have around features that would be friendly or improvements that would be friendly to a new, like, more casual audience, those are the things that will be prioritized first, because we need to get that player base up in order to eventually get to the more competitive stuff. So I think we don't have anything 100% confirmed right now, but we are like, collectively looking through all of the feedback, probably over the next like 1 to 2 weeks, and we'll start putting together some, like, here are some things that we think are achievable.
Yeah. And yeah, as you said, just to sort of reaffirm everybody listening that, personally, I can also confirm that these guys are really open to, like, listening what you as players want to see in the game. Every little complaint, every little sort of request, they do listen. So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, and just it's not just us too, right? It's like Andre and Nasty are, I mean, even though they might not be responding on Discord as crazily as we do, they are basically just as in the loop as we are on all of these, new pieces of feedback and new things that players are wanting for launch. So yeah, we are, collectively, like, talking as a group here.
I think you guys can, like, pull up someone else now. I think I've said my bit.
Nice. Yeah. Just continue helping us out with getting feedback. Who else is coming on stage?
Good evening. Are there any plans to bring back the order movement mechanics that all of the community has loved since it
What
launched? And yeah, the order movement mechanics like B-hop and long jump. Are there any plans to bring them back, or will the current movement system be kept?
You're talking about B-hopping, right? B-hopping and
yeah, B-hop, long jump.
We don't want B-hop back. The reason why it was removed at some point. First of all, it makes game look ugly. And secondly, when you play in any team, where is like person is hoping, it actually destroys session for like everyone else. And now we want to focus first on making game accessible for new players, because I think you understand that we have to grow our audience, and this not the mechanic that helps in this regard. So no, we hope won't be back at
Thank
least
you.
anytime soon.
Thanks for the answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just to reiterate on that, I think any mechanics that would hurt probably like new players or make it feel bad for new players, like we just can't prioritize right now.
Hi.
Hey,
Returning to
Burns.
the question of transferring player data from Steam to Epic, is it possible to hear more details or variation in what form we will see our accounts at release, our progressions? So something about this.
Like
Yeah, I think-
transferring of like progression looks impossible at the moment. As Alex said, we will come up with a few ideas how we could reward the players who were with us on Steam, and then you guys will decide which option you prefer. Alex, maybe
Got it.
talk
Because
more about
I guess not only me spent more than 1 or 2,000 of hours in this game, so community waiting for, I guess, useful things about transferring progression.
Totally. Like we said earlier, we'll present you guys some options. Like the community will then choose which option you guys like the most. But given some of the rebalancing that we're doing of content and content faucets, the pure transfer of content does not seem very very straightforward. Which is why I think it's safer for us to just propose some options that we think will work better, and you guys choose from those options.
Got it, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Hi.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah. All right. Hi, I'm Methyline. I've been there with this game since October 2022, so pretty much since early access has been released. I am also concerned as much as many people from the community about the fate of this game, and I have prepared 3 questions. One of them is that one of Shatterline developers hinted that single-player campaigns is in the works. Will it be released on Steam version to be played offline in case the game cannot be brought back?
We like did some experiments, but with single player campaign, but it is not ready yet, and we do not work on it at the moment. So
Right.
yeah, we had some experiments, but no, it's not coming anytime soon.
Right, I see. Another question that I have is that over the years, Fraglab has pretty much disappointed or failed the player base with lack of communication about whether it was development progress, feedback that was being given by the players, or bugs that were present pretty much since the release and haven't been fixed yet. What assurance do we as the players have that we won't be kept in the dark under the new management?
First of all, the management is not new. Management is the same. We just like our team just gets bigger together with Faraway.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just chime in. It's a partnership, and if you want assurances that we're going to continue to be transparent, just stay in the Discord. Stay in the Discord. Like tag me, tag Andre, tag Spencer, and we're always here. We're always going to be here. We'll answer questions, and we'll give you the answers, as truthfully as possible. Like there's, our goal here is just to maintain as straightforward as a communication lines as possible with players. and we will tell you what's hard, what's easy, and our goal is just some honest communication and transparency.
Right, thank you. My last question for now is, how do you feel about Big Fry TV's recent negative video about Fraglab's partnership with Faraway, culminating in him demanding his branded trinket with his YouTube logo be removed from the game upon hearing the news of the partnership?
I think his main complaint that this was planned in the background since 2022. I believe
was one of his complaints, yes.
Yeah, I think I just addressed that a little bit earlier, that we've explored it, but nothing was concretely planned. So I think what would have been better for Big Fry to do would be like reach out, get like clarification before making a video. But of course, everybody loves to engagement farm. So I think there's a reason to post a video that's inflammatory. I think as far as NFTs being introduced to the game, I mean, of course, there's going to be a set of people, players, streamers, etc., that just hate NFTs, right? They just hate crypto the same way people hate AI. Like, of course, we will continue doing a good job in showing that we're using this new technology in ways that benefit all players. But sometimes you just simply can't change a person's mind, right? People hated free-to-play microtransactions, and 90% of people are fine with it today. But of course, there's always that same 10% that, again, hates free-to-play microtransactions, and we will never get them over that hurdle. But the thing that we can do is we'll be transparent, and we will do all of this Web3 type of integrations in a way that benefits all players as a whole. I hope that is pretty clear.
And yeah, please come.
All right. So you are not concerned about how much was it? 82,000 people watching this video, and be concerned that this is a player base that will be just gone, just from this video alone, that it might hurt your bottom line.
No.
Right. So thank you for answering my questions, and from the bottom of my heart, I wish you good luck in handling this game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think like.
Sorry,
Yeah,
let me add. Yeah, I still think that Big Fry is a great content creator, and he's a good guy. And probably at some point, when he'll see that we are moving in the right direction, he could make another video about Shatterline, a bit more positive.
Right.
I mean, I'll chime in real quick too. On my personal point of view, is people are going to react poorly to change in general, especially if there's like a negative sort of association bias around whatever that change is. And I think it's our responsibility as the operators of the game and developers and kind of publishers, etc., to help show the world and the gaming community how this is a positive change, and it's not going to be something that happens overnight. I think it's on us to demonstrate to the community that this is a change for the better. And I don't think anyone's going to believe that until they see it firsthand. So I think, talk is cheap and actions speak louder than words. And I think what we need to do is demonstrate through our actions to the community that it's positive. And I think when that happens, that's when the narrative will change, and that's when there'll be a shift. But until that happens, I think it's a uphill battle for sure. But this isn't our first time with uphill battles. And I'm not talking about free to play and microtransactions. I'm talking about game features and MMOs and other stuff I've done historically. It's never easy. But again, it's our responsibility to demonstrate to the community that this is a positive change versus a negative one.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Sean.
How are you, everyone?
All good, thank you.
Yes, thank you. I have questions about PvP in general. So it will be very fast. I want to start with the bunny hop because it's a very, very big, important thing thing because maybe you Andre, you are against it. I understand, but the thing is, we've played with bunny hop and long jump for a long time, and it created a lot of good PvP moments. Highlights. You know what I mean? And
Yes, sure.
yes, and I talked with Paley and every day, and they, from what I understand, they want the game to maybe be competitive later. But as it is now today, I can't see the fast-paced shooter gameplay. I feel like it's a how to say that, a poor Call of Duty version. With very slow movements and everything, and it sucks because for PvE, even for PvE, you see the maps are very very big, and you have to work like if the game was lagging. You know what I mean? So it adds a lot more movements. It adds the unique playstyle, and it's very easy to learn. There is a lot of tutorials in YouTube. You can easily learn it, and everyone wants it. As you can see, when you nerfed the bunny up, maybe half of players just left the game. You know what I mean? So that's the first question. I would just like to know who is against this and who is for this. In the dev team, and I would like also to know if you plan to make something about custom games. That's it.
In dev team, it was like united decision. There is
Yeah.
no any single person in the dev team who was for keeping it.
Okay.
That's as of dev team. As of half of the player for left, that's actually not true. So yeah, people coming and leaving, but we haven't saw any drastic changes in the data with removing of bunny hop, and that was the mechanic used by somewhat 10 to 15% of the audience, and the mechanic that ruined experience for new players.
Can I say something about this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the problem is the game was with maybe 300 or 400 players, so it's normal that not everyone used this because not everyone watched YouTube videos and everything, but that's another thing. But I would like to know why is Shatterline a fast-paced shooter if you don't have a lot of movements except climbing small walls and that's it, or you have what do you have? Wait, the streaks, the fast running, and that's it. It's not fast-paced in my opinion, especially when you see the TTK. The time to kill is very, very, very long. I personally, when I play it, I play a lot of fast-paced shooters games, and this one is one where I can't really have fun because I feel like I'm lagging. The game is so slow. Maybe people like it, maybe, but I think from the competitive perspective, everyone will be okay with me. So I would like just to know if you focus on PvP later, if you will think about it again.
We will focus on PvP later.
Yeah.
And live game, then it iterates forever. It changes while it's live. So maybe at some point we'll get back to reiterating movement. I don't think that will return B-Hope as it was, but no one knows future. Maybe we'll come up with some other mechanic.
Of course, you guys are the developers. If you can bring us something to just have faster movements, that's the thing we want. Biop was good, but if you can propose something better than this, we are okay with this. But as it is now, it's very slow. That's what I want to make you understand, because honestly, it's a very, very slow game.
Okay, thank you for your feedback.
Thanks, Epsilon.
Okay,
and we've talked about, I think just making the game the priority right now is just making the game, friendlier for new players to join. And then, after we have that, that big and stable player base, I think options are very much open at that point.
Of course, and that's why I ask also about custom guests, if you can think about it, because it's very cool for new players also, when content creators, for example, a streamer can make a custom games and new players can join, learn the game together and everything. So I would like to know about the custom games too.
Custom games is a nice feature. We wanted it for a long time, and I think we'll get back to it when we'll focus on next PvP iteration.
Okay, that's it for me.
It's definitely not something that you could see on launch.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. I was just going to
Yeah,
add to the answers that have been given. I think one thing that I would kind of communicate here more broadly is that initially we've got this priority, like a priority list of things that we want to do, and those are, initially going to target front of the funnel, so expansion, etc. That doesn't rule out things that ultimately the players want to see or prioritize in terms of focuses and goals. And the goal here is to generate enough what we call like exit velocity or sort of like growth momentum to the degree that then we have the capacity and resources to invest in multiple different things over time. But I think like we need to have a good foundation to start from there, and that foundation has to prioritize scalability. So I think that's the first focus. But I think all these things that are being brought up are absolutely things that should be offered as feedback, because it tells us what the existing community is most interested in kind of seeing happen. And whatever the solutions are, we'll figure out together, whether they're obvious or not obvious, or maybe there's a creative solution that gets us to the same place. But I think it's just understanding, the success of the game is also the success of the player base. They're directly correlated. So our focus should be,
we work together.
Yeah, exactly. So I think our focus is like to work with the community and be transparent, as Alex said. So I don't want to like rule out the goals. I just want to make sure we're clear on the priorities and the order of operations.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much, guys. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Hello.
Hey.
So I just had a question about because I know a lot of people in Frag Lab have left the team, and was Dennis one of those people, the narrative writer for Shatterline?
We still working with Dennis. He's not with us full time right now.
Okay, so he's still kind of working on the narrative part time. Okay. And so what does that mean for the narrative design for Shatterline? So expedition, story missions, the campaign that's been rumored. What does it mean for that?
Sorry, I think I didn't get the question. Could you please?
Oh,
again?
I'm just how will that affect the narrative future for Shatterline? So the way the story's integrated in Expedition, the way it's integrated in, of course, the story missions and the campaign that Dennis mentioned in the Discord a little bit ago. Will any of that change? Will it still kind of go according to the way that he had written it to go, or are you gonna redo the narrative?
No, we like the narrative a lot.
Mhm.
We have story written for like a lot of missions in the future, and we actually have a couple of episodes that will probably show you on release.
Okay. Thank
It
you.
should
That's
be
all I
ready
had.
by then, yeah.
All right.
And right now, like we are focused on integration and preparing the game for release. And after that, I believe we'll continue working with lore and stuff and expanding the universe.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I would like to ask about the recent. There have been many bug reports and feedbacks coming in. How are they going to be went over?
This is sort of what I was saying before. Is collectively, Faraway plus the Frag Lab team. Once we get all of the feedback, we'll go through it. We'll prioritize it and do some cost benefit on. Here's, if it's high impact and relatively simple to put in, that's going to be the top priority items for us. But again, I think right now we need more feedback, and we need like fresh feedback too. So that's why I was encouraging everybody here. Like, if you like you sort of now understand what we're prioritizing, which is bringing in more players and keeping those new players. So if you think about providing feedback in that lens, it would be extremely helpful for us.
And currently, the servers are struggling due to many and different reasons, leading to choppy appearance, rubber banding, key registration issues. Are there any intentions to move providers as of the servers?
Andre, do you guys use AWS?
We do use AWS.
Probably not a better provider out there.
Yeah, they're actually a good provider. The thing is, right now online is like not that high, and it's always an issue to find the session like in your near your server, near your AWS instance, and also it could pack people from different like locations together in one session, and some of them could have pretty high ping, and lots of issues would be resolved like automatically when we'll have more players. Then we'll be able to add like more servers in different locations and make sure that people play with like low ping.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit more directly to Fraglav here, and I have like a series of questions. Now, I just want to preface this by saying I might come off as like a little bit nasty here, but I've dedicated nearly 2 years of my life to this game. I'm very passionate about this game. So if it sounds like I'm being mean for the sake of being mean, not the case at all. I want to see this game thrive. So with that being said, I need to ask Fraglab directly, do you guys think you're making a good game or a bad game?
We think that we are making a great game.
My next question is, do you guys think you add good content in features or bad content in features?
How do you think?
Again, let's keep this one professional, please.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I 100%. It's just
I hear it. Let's keep this one out.
Okay.
I think we have a very clear understanding.
Okay, I will skip to sort of my next question then. So there have been a lot of changes and updates and whatnot that the community just really doesn't like, and we're very vocal about what we do and don't like. But there is a lot of enforcement from Frag Lab's side that these are good changes and that we are just crazy or skill issued when it comes to these changes. Now, obviously, ultimately, it is your guys' game. It's your vision. If you believe this is what people are going to find fun, then who are we to stop you? But at the same time, we are the people that have spent thousands of hours, hundreds of dollars, investing in this game, energy, time, money, etc., etc. And we're saying these things, and it's just you guys are enforcing what you want to see and not necessarily what the community wants to see. And obviously, in my opinion, when the community wants to see these good changes or bad changes added or reverted, and you guys are enforcing these changes, it's very tone deaf and out of touch with the community. So ultimately, it's a question of when are we going to start listening and having a lot more value on player feedback, essentially, if at all.
That's like one point of view. We see it a bit differently from the very beginning, from the event tests prior to early access. We played with our players, we talked to them a lot, and we have regular community requests review, and we do react to things that are important. And the thing is, when you react to it, like people take it for granted, but when you disagree with some requests, they remember about it, and it like feels like pain. I believe like we closed 70-80% of the requests we've got like in the first half a year, for example. and I don't think anyone remembers about that.
No, I can
recently,
definitely remember
recently,
changes.
recently, based on player requests, we introduced ranked games, like competitive play and PvP. That was #1 request. We did it.
Mhm.
We've got
Yeah.
requests that we did it like not the way that people want it. We talked a lot
Mhm.
with many players in the community,
Mhm.
and we
Yeah.
reiterated and did it like the way most of people that we talked to were happy.
Mhm.
The same happened
So
to Plant the Bomb
Mhm.
mode. Like we reworked it. Like our design team talked a lot to like players who play it competitively.
Mhm.
And the end we find the ground and we play tested it even before it went live. So yeah,
Yeah.
we think we actually listened to a lot of feedback, but definitely some stuff is not there. Like some requests, they are not aligned with like the vision of design team.
Mhm.
Some items like they're not in time.
Yeah, so just to rebuttal some, ranked sort of things there. Obviously, yeah, I agree that a lot of people did want ranked, and yes, you guys did deliver upon ranked. But at the same time, a lot of players were begging that it didn't go into its own separate queue, because the reason events, as you know, were removed was because low player count, and the reason that it was low player count is because it was a separate queue. Why queue for one mode when you can queue for 5 and have quicker matchmaking? So a lot of players were begging to have ranked in the general matchmaking pool so people could actually play it, because with the low player base, obviously you cannot queue for one singular game mode and get a match in a reasonable amount of time. And that wasn't the first iteration of ranked, that was the second and third iteration. We asked for the same thing, we never got it. So that single thing right there, that's nearly around a year of asking for one relatively simple thing that we know can be done, and it was not done. And that is, once again, I mean, from what I have been told personally, a dev team decision that it wasn't decided not to go into the general matchmaking pool.
I'll talk to design team and we'll get back on it. Please make sure to add it to like list of requests.
Definitely. Just trying to think of what else I've got up here. Of course, there's been a lot of changes. For example, TTK, Stagger. Stagger is pretty much universally hated. Same with like movement changes a lot of the time, like being pushed back by grenades, screen shake, stuff like that. That's sort of still in the game, even though a lot of people just really don't like it. It's just I'm sort of pinpointing a lot of points here where it's like these really small things that a lot of people are asking for that's just never done, because obviously ultimately you guys are the devs and that's what you say goes, right?
I think Dink, maybe like let's take a step back. I think fresh start here. So I think we'd love to see all of this feedback. Like we're gonna look at it all like at one time in one place. So I think if these are these small things that a lot of players are very passionate about, then of course I think both of our teams will chat about all of this stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I don't have a lot of context on some of this stuff. Maybe it was done for game design reasons. Maybe it was done for anti-cheat reasons. I don't know. But all I can promise is that we will definitely talk about it. And like you will have the answer as to why it will come back or won't come back.
Okay. Well, I think I'm more than happy with the responses. I think you guys can put someone else up to take over for me now.
Cool. Yeah, please. Yeah, I was just say keep the feedback coming.
Hello again.
Hey,
So,
again.
are there any plans to add, for example, I'm thinking of like a new player's perspective. Are there any ways there might be like both matches, like play versus AI, to be added to the game? So, for example, a new player could just try a quick PvP match against some bots and learn to play character. Like, for example, Ram is a super complex character. You need to know how to aim with the axis. You have to use the cross strike at correct timings. the ultimate is pretty hard to use. So would there be any chances that you guys add flavors AI or flavors AI PvP matches, for example?
That's a good question. The thing is, making AI simulate player behavior is extremely complex task. You may see in expedition tutorial, we added like AI simulating your teammates, but they are fully scripted and still they look bad. Like this requires a lot of work. Probably at some point we'll get back to this, but at the moment it doesn't look like doable.
What about operative operative specific like tutorials, like with a lot of MOBAs, they include basically a get started full of videos that tell you how to play that operative specifically. Or are there any plans to add, for example, more resources for a new player to learn to play the game better? Like, they really knows how the kit works.
More resources, you mean like expedition resources?
No, I mean like in general, like how to play the character. You guys have those videos already made in the operative tab. So maybe to somehow make a dedicated resource or a dedicated menu with those videos and specifically the information that is given. Like Malva has that drone pincher. It shows you what things it does and etc. in its own menu. Because right now it's super like in a super weird menu. You don't realize, oh wait, I can click this and get information about that.
Okay, I think that makes sense.
This is just these little tutorial videos that like League has. Is that what the question is?
Yeah, like can we have it in a specific menu, for example? Like, so a new player would be forced to go through them. Like in a lot of MOBAs, you have to go before you can even unlock the character. You have to watch the videos or somehow in its own menu.
Actually, do you personally as a player like such mechanics when you like download the game, install the game?
For example, when I started playing Deadlock, it did not force me to do that, but it would be a good way to have, hey, here's the intro. You can skip the intro and the operative things, and jump straight in the game, or watch the videos and understand how each operative works.
Just sharing some insight. If you remember in the past, tutorial was mandatory at first game launch. Like when you download the game and launch again for the first time, tutorial was mandatory. And that was the biggest churn point. Like a lot of players who cannot skip tutorial, they just Alt F4 and never came back. That's why like it is not mandatory anymore.
You can just start it into it. So there's like a lot of games don't have it as mandatory, but there's a like get started resources. So it could be put in the tier where it's like very, it's easy to understand how the class works, because some newbie might just decide to install game, pick orbit first game, and doesn't realize that how the crucially the swarm grenade works specifically. Which is
would you prefer these videos or tutorials to be in the game or on like YouTube?
In the game in its own like menu, maybe, because the current way it's done, it's very. You don't click on that because it's an operative.
Are you talking about these are videos or are these like playable?
These are videos. You probably have it on the Discord server. I
have an opinion here. Yeah, I have like a sort of an opinion here. A lot of that stuff I think is better actually made by players than it is by the developers. It's like this is sort of the reason that like nobody has in-game chat anymore, because Discord does like a way better job at like unless it's just like spatial audio. They have that, but I know most people just use Discord for chat or Discord for voice. So I think some things there are better tools outside of the game for explaining some of this content
Yeah.
than putting everything in the game. So I think that's always the thing to be careful of. It's like, if we do something, are we actually going to do it better than players? If so, yeah, definitely do it. If not, like, actually let players explain all of the nuance of these characters themselves. So I think that's always the trade-off.
Yeah. Thank you.
For sure. And Dink, I see your, yeah, I think players a lot of the times do know better than the devs, or figure out something that the devs couldn't predict. I think it's always these emergent things that are the things that make games interesting.
Hello. Hi. So one thing that I really want to know is if we can bring back, at least for the extreme difficulty for expedition, the 4-sector expedition, because the current PvE progression system is not balanced with 2 sectors in mind. Before, when you could do 4 sectors, you could run all 4 sectors and get all the different kinds of resources in a single run if you were smart, played fast enough, and moved fast enough. Whereas now I have to play easy and extreme twice as much to get the same amount of resources, which I think is pretty detrimental to the overall PvE experience.
I think it's probably too specific for me, but maybe Andre has an opinion. I probably don't have enough context. We lost Andre. Eventide, maybe you can.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I'm talking muted. Yes, that's nice. You mean like you don't like the situation when the expedition is split into difficulties with 2 sectors in each, and you'd prefer have like a long run with all the sectors in one session?
I would prefer to have the option to do either. I think that it's fine to have the shorter expedition format, but as far as the PvE experience goes, and especially because they want Faraway wants to lean into it as a modicum of competitiveness, it's really, really bad when you have to spend twice as much time, grinding for different resources you need in different modes, which may or may not, if you don't have a squad to go with, you're doing it with randoms, which is even worse because there's a lot less communication involved. So having that longer option would be so beneficial for the people that have really, really enjoyed Expedition.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, I see your point. Please make sure to add it to the request list, and we'll review it with design team.
Great. And then one other question. Do you think that at some point we can get the barricade mode back? That's something that a lot of the PvP community actually really does want back, because that was a pretty fun and unique mode that you don't see in every other game. We got Conquest, we got Domination, and TDM and Escort. Those are all good modes, but are also in like every other game. Barricade is something that I've never seen before, and that I enjoyed a lot.
Well, Barricade is my personal favorite, and like it's hilarious. Like I love it a lot. The thing is, like we first introduced it in events. Then we set it like as a regular, like constant mode. It was always there. And we saw like in a week or two, interest to it like dropped significantly, and it didn't survive like as a permanent mode. We definitely I still love it, and we definitely want it back as an event for sure when we'll have more players.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again. I've
Hey
come
again.
up with a couple more questions in the meantime. First of them is the PvE progression tree is lackluster and often not fitting the theme of the operators. For example, Kite has bonus shotgun damage even though it's sniper rifles that load his ultimate. That results in Brisa being the only operator with overclocked sniper rifles in PvE. Other example is Ram's axes. It's either the throwing axe or the explosive axe. They are absolutely not affected by his skill tree. And replacement abilities are often just omitted. Like, for example, Strix's crystalline grenade has an entire branch sacrificed to it, but Fire Wave grenade, absolutely not. Same with Mongoose. His smoke grenade is utilized in the skill tree. Flashbang does absolutely nothing. Are there plans for a major overhaul of the skill tree?
Like it's not on the table right now, but I believe we'll work at it. Like we'll improve the system in the future, but not for release.
All right. Speaking of PvE game mode, given that some weapon attachments are affecting only PvP or PvE, and people were asking for separate loadouts for both game types, please tell us why it was impossible to implement them. Because we've been told it's impossible, we were not told why.
It's technically doubles the load on database. I believe that's the reason. For the next Q&A, we'll invite our technical director. He may explain more.
All right. And the last question I have, are there plans for LAN gameplay in case I would like to play PvE with two friends on controllers from a single computer?
No, it's definitely not on plans.
Well, that's saddening.
Like 3 players with controllers on the same computer.
Yeah,
that sounds
like
cool.
for example, Ultimate Chicken Horse does this. You can play with your friends from a single computer. You just connect an Xbox controller to your PC and it works.
I've never even seen that. I didn't even know that was possible.
Oh, it is possible. Actually, try this game. It's very fun.
Well, what's it called?
Ultimate Chicken Horse. And it sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not. It's a real title.
I found it. I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, it is possible, and because it is, I really recommend trying to implement that to Shatterline. Because some of my real life friends I invited to this game, they enjoyed it, and I'm sure they would love to play it offline with me if they had an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally gonna check it out because I didn't even know that was possible. It's split screen.
No, it's all. You're talking about Ultimate Chicken Horse. It's all like one screen, right?
Oh, it's like Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, so if you could please look into it, because having an option to play on LAN with controllers like would be amazing. Even though it would not maybe a single computer, but perhaps 3 computers connected into the same network, so that every player could see their own screen.
What would the difference be between just having a party of like 3 people on different computers?
Well, in case I would not want to download Epic Games Store and I would like to play the game on Steam release.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll check it out. I'm just checking out a video of this thing.
Right. Thank you.
He says.
Thank you.
Hi, one more time. Maybe I skipped this info, but I got a question about playing servers. Now I play on Amazon. We have some problems with registration all 2+ years. So after release, we will still play on Amazon servers, or we have some, I don't know, some alternative?
I don't think the problem is Amazon. I think it's what Andre was saying, where if they're making a party and that party is composed of people across multiple regions, one person's ping in that party could hurt the experience for the other players, right? There's no, it's not an Amazon or Google like cloud provider problem. It's more of a player-based problem. But I think if we can increase the size of the player base, it means more player density per server, which means better experience per party.
Okay, thanks.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I mean, Instagram uses AWS. So, I mean, most of the big websites in the world or big games in the world use AWS.
Okay, thanks for the answer.
Cool.
Thank you.
Me again. So in the last couple years of Shatterline, we've had a lot of content added, a lot of content removed, game modes. There's been a lot of unused content as well. When are we going to start seeing a lot of the unused and removed content actually added into the game?
I think the answer is the same when we'll have a bigger player base. Like when you have too many entry points to matchmaking, it is like exponentially harder to find to create a game.
Mm-hmm. And
so this is the single reason why we decrease the amount of entry points.
So that's
James,
like game modes and such, right?
What specific content? Maybe you can expand on that.
Yeah, there was a lot of unused abilities. There's a lot of AI enemies, old models, and such like that have been sort of removed, replaced, or not even implemented at all. For example, around the first year that the game went into early access, there was a PTS branch that was accidentally uploaded. It was incredibly broken, but it showed a lot of what seemed to be fully completed weapons, abilities. I think the Chakram was leaked in that build, the Sodom as well, and a lot of that content is just sat gathering dust basically. And for the last 2 years, we've not seen any of that pretty much. So are there like any plans at all to make use out of that content that's just gathering dust, or will it never see the light of day?
Andre, maybe we could just look at all of these abilities. I mean, I think if there is, maybe, I think we just talk about this more. Like if there is content that is, basically ready to go but unused, well, I think we just explore what can be done here.
It's been a long while since we had something that, in terms of content, that wasn't maps that were already finished for the past sort of couple years, episodes that weren't already finished. There's never been new abilities. There's never been new ultimates, no new characters. Outside of 2 brand new guns, that's pretty much all we've had. So there's not a lot of actual player interactability, like consistency, if you understand what that means.
I don't think we plan to like add more ability to basic setup of a character, of existing characters. Not in the nearest future for sure. As
James,
were
these abilities that were added already to characters, or like were these new characters with like new abilities?
There weren't any. There was a leaked prototype of some sort of rocket launcher character, but that was very, very bare bones. But in terms of the abilities that were leaked, there was leaked ultimates that were fully modeled, fully operational, leaked, tactical abilities and lethal abilities that were fully functional. So just really strange to not see any of this content added like at all. Yeah,
as a prototypes, we have like lots of prototypes that never went to production and probably won't ever go to production. We actually, before going to early access, we had like weekly play sessions with some of our like very small audience, and we tested with them a lot of maps and mods and etc. And those that got positive feedback, they went to production, and others they like were killed. unborn. So yeah, a lot of prototypes like that. They might be in the build, but they like unlikely will go to production or live.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's sort of all I've really got to ask there, to be honest. Just content question.
Okay, thank you.
Hey guys.
Hey Reptak, nice to meet you. Nice to see you. I mean,
Yeah, so I had two questions actually. They're pretty basic, but I actually was a little bit late, so I apologize if you guys already answered this. I've been doing a little bit of catching up on kind of the history of Shatterline. I've been looking at some videos that people had posted, and one thing I've noticed a lot of people bring up is due to like the lack of players was partly and because of people really think it should be launched on maybe like Xbox or PlayStation. Is this something you guys plan on doing in the future, or adding something like controller support is a big thing that I've seen a lot of people talking about?
I think it has controller support already.
Okay, great.
Andre, I'll let you talk about console. I think we were just covering it a little bit earlier, but like Andre can give like the quick TLDR.
we believe that the game should be polished on PC first, and only then go to consoles. We saw some games they went to consoles before they were good enough and polished enough on PC, and none of that had a great story. Since we're happy, when we'll be happy with the build on PC, we'll discover console opportunity as well.
Awesome, love that. And the another question, kind of on the NFT side of things, I guess, even though I guess it's a little taboo, would be, what do you guys? First of all, like, what do you think is like really why bringing NFTs into the game is going to kind of add to the player basis? Like, do you guys think that that's going to be successful? And like, kind of, I guess, like the fundamental difference between something like a weapon skin or somebody buying an NFT, I think.
I mean, we're starting off by integrating existing NFTs and giving more utility to those NFTs, like by giving them good game experiences. So I mean, yeah, we do think it'll be successful, or else we wouldn't be doing it. But yeah, I think like the first goal is just bring in heavy metals. Like, this is an awesome community that has some real gamers in it. Like, if it works with heavy metals, bring in the Legends of the Mara community, and then just keep going community by community and bringing in the the awesome items that people own and give them utility and great games. And I think there's definitely a pretty scalable model here.
I appreciate it, guys. I would tend to agree. I've been playing the game for the past couple days, just getting my feet wet in it. I do think it's a great game, and I do think that getting some fresh blood in here is gonna kind of. I think people are gonna be surprised. So thank you guys, appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like one thing about NFTs is that people are super passionate about their NFTs, and they want to see them used in as many places as possible. So I think the heavy metal holders, right, super passionate about their NFTs, very gamer centric. That's why we started off there. So I think these people, and then plus I think some of the heavy metals are they have guns. Like you can definitely see them in an FPS.
Awesome, excited to see how this all plays out, guys, for sure.
Thanks, Ripper.
Hello, I'm not really here to ask my own question. I'm here to ask a collection of questions that I've seen in my chat at the moment. As well, I just wanted to maybe apologize to Faraway a little bit, that a lot of these questions from the community are a lot more centered towards, Frag Lab and Shatterline in general than NFTs and whatnot. But obviously that just shows the passion of the community that's there. So yeah, so
I think that's awesome, by the way. Like we want to see this passion, we want to see the feedback. So keep it coming.
So this question is from Dinolind, and he wants to know why the focus of the game is changing constantly as if there's no direction. For example, when the game launched, it was mainly advertised as a fast PvP focused game. Then it was focused more on expedition with several reworks. Then you guys pivoted to a slow PvP game style. Then you guys wanted to do single player, and now you're pivoting away from single player. So that's sort of Dinolind's question, if you want to answer that.
We never wanted to make it a single player. It never was announced officially and publicly, I believe. We did some experiment internally, but no, it was not like there was not a plan for single player ever. While we did prototyped and experimented with possibility to play single player campaign.
Right.
But no, it was not a focus. As of PvP, PvE and stuff, we see where our audience is, where it's going, like, and where we can improve.
Mm.
So yeah, at the beginning our focus was PvP.
Mm-hmm.
Then at some point we saw that like expedition is a great mod. It can retain, but after some point there is a churn point on some place in expedition. It becomes too repetitive in some time, and we saw there like a good possibility of improvement. That's why we introduced. Okay.
No, please go ahead. I cut you off. I thought you finished. My apologies.
Yeah, that's why we decided to introduce meta loop in there and make it less repetitive, like add a bit more variety there.
Yeah. Okay, so another question I see is how you guys are planning to sort of maybe not compete, but match the content demands of a live service. For example, other AAA games are pretty standardized at the moment. It's a 3-month long season, you know, new character, new weapon, new map, one of those three at the beginning of each season, and obviously regular updates throughout that season. Obviously, given sort of past deadlines are pretty difficult. So, are there any changes planned for that sort of, you know, format for you guys?
We'd love to have such updates. We'd love to have new character every season. We'd love to have lots of content and maps and etc. and etc. But I believe the companies that are doing this, they are a bit of different size and a bit of different budgets. We're trying to do the best we can with the resources we have. When we'll see, like when the game will be growing and we'll be able to raise the team, we will definitely deliver more.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm just scrolling through now to see if there's.
I think, Dank, one thing I want to just highlight there is going head to head against like a Call of Duty or in a X Defiant or a Destiny is just, I mean, there's nothing really differentiated about that. Forget about the fact that it's really hard, you know, and it requires a huge team. Like, there's nothing we can say about why what we're doing is different or better than what they're doing. And I think it's really important that like we operate differently. So this is new types of rewards is one thing. It's like leaning into
Web3 stuff,
and this is where like the Web3 stuff comes in. It's like, can we use Web3 to differentiate ourselves from like a typical free-to-play shooter and just provide something that players can't get anywhere else, right? Because that's the thing that I think will make this successful. Going head-to-head against Call of Duty just is a very, very, very tough and uphill battle.
Very big
I think
challenge.
I think even X Defiant seeing it right now.
Yeah, and then plus, how often could you speak in Discord to Activision founders?
So another question I've got here, I'll try to like shorten it down to its basics, but essentially you guys were talking about new player experience and how you want it to feel a lot better. A big complaint is stagger, not only in PvP, but in PvE. In Expedition, a lot of runs get caught short because, especially for new players, where they'll get staggered, instantly swarmed, and as a new player, they aren't really equipped to deal with that. Obviously, there's progression with abilities and skill trees that help you avoid those situations, and obviously weapons and whatnot. But ultimately, that's really new player unfriendly because they don't have access to the tools to sort of avoid that situation. Is there any plans to remove that, tweak that, so it's better for new players?
I don't have a good answer right now. We'll take a look on it with design team.
Mm-hmm. Sort of one last question, I guess. So I'm not taking up everybody's time. What sort of regrets or mistakes were made sort of during early access that you guys can sort of maybe talk to the community a little bit about here?
Early access mistakes.
Yeah, so just maybe things you regret, maybe features, maybe situations regarding sort of community developer relations, anything like that.
Probably we went to early access a bit earlier. And definitely developing, like when you're just developing, is way like dramatically easier than trying to develop and operate in a parallel.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we didn't have a choice. We simply didn't have a choice. Like it was 2022, the war started. We lost our investor and publisher, and we were in the situation that we should either shut the studio and Shatterline will never go live, or try to go to early access, like with Shatterline as it is, with $0 marketing budget, and see how it will work. And we made a decision, and we believe that's the right decision. It has its like consequences, but on the other hand, Shatterline would never see the world.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. That's it from me.
Thank you.
Right. Hello again. So
Hey.
I am here to only talk about one thing that has been concerning me, not precisely about Shatterline, but about this partnership. So as you are all aware, there has been a mix-up of NFT enthusiasts that have joined upon hearing about Shatterline from Faraway, and the so to speak, the old guard who has been there for a lot of time and is generally suspicious towards NFTs. The thing I want to talk about here, and I use the word think intentionally, is the user Gabe8bit, who has been nothing but negative and overall given a bad name to a so-called crypto bro. It's basically like he has come to our living room and took a giant shit on our carpet. He walks in there, is being rude to all the players who has been there forever, pretty much. And yes, I felt the need to call him out because I do not appreciate how there's just some guy saying that we are taking over, saying that this is not your game anymore, this is our game now. Or who wants to join into my new group, Virgins Against NFTs? How do you feel about having such person relaying the same intentions as you, just pretty much being an NFT shill? Himself, not you, of course, but how is him being there going to convince us that this NFT integration is a good move?
Who's gonna take this?
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta transfer. Stop laughing first. I mean, Gabe is a fun, unique, like individual. I think that exists in NFTs. It exists in games. Yeah, I don't really have an amazing answer here, but I think if we all show each other, some respect and have fun, whether you like NFTs or don't like NFTs, I think you will all come to appreciate one another.
Well, if only this guy could make him appreciate it.
Gabe will behave. He's a very he's a good guy. So behind all of the comments, he's a good guy, and I know that he wants to. So when he says like I can delegate my 700 heavy metals to you, what he means by that is like basically he can give them to you to play with, and he can delegate them to your wallet. So I know he does want to help out.
Well, it doesn't seem like he wanna help out. He just wants to stir fire here, apparently. And this is not just how I feel. I feel like I'm speaking for at least 10 people here, based on the reactions that my posts have been receiving in this Q&A.
Yeah, I'm reading through some of these posts right now. Totally hear you. Gabe, behave yourself. But in the end, I think everybody should have fun together. And I think when you read behind, behind the lines, I think you'll see that Gabe's a great guy. And I assume, or I hope that, in the next 3 months, maybe you're playing expeditions with Gabe at some point. So I think there's I think we should all show each other some mutual respect, and I think it'll go a long way.
Well, he's yet to show his good side to us, but in this case,
Yeah.
I hope that he will be treated fairly in case he continues with his unacceptable behavior in this community.
Sounds good. Gabe, behave yourself, and everybody else. Let's also, show each other some mutual respect here.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, I missed a bit the start of your conversation. I mean, of the Q&A session, and yeah, some fascinating information about NFT and controversial. I forgot. I mean, the NFT is a bit controversial scene. My question is a bit continue the previous speaker. How you plan to stick to your existing fan base, a loyal fan base, pretty small one, I believe, because for the last 2 years that I actively played with my mates Shatterline, we have seen, when daily the amount of players constantly decreasing, and right now you're adding NFT, and I like. Do you worry about these moves? Do you do you agree that this is a potential risk to lost the most loyal fan base, the most loyal part of your fan base?
I mean, I think it's just up to us to show people that this NFT integration, it's not something scammy. We're also not minting NFTs from the game. All we're doing is we're using NFTs to bring in other communities into the game, right? And the thing about NFTs, right, like I was saying earlier, people that own these NFTs are extremely passionate about them. They're extremely passionate about building the brand and building the IP for their individual NFTs. I think one thing that might not be commonly known is that for a lot of these NFTs, they come with commercial rights. So if you own this NFT, you can build brands and businesses around these. So again, another reason why people can become so passionate about them. So yeah, I mean, our focus just is right around bringing passionate communities of players, right, to the game. And NFTs are one way that we're trying to do that right now. So I think, again, like, let us show you that, we will do a good job here. We will respect like the integrity of the game. This is our job at just bringing in new communities of players and offering rewards that we couldn't do otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, this is understandable. I am talking more about not to bring a new community to the game, but to properly communicate with the existing community, because I mean, we all of us have seen these examples when, for example, JC Game World, they announced the NFT, some kind of NFT at the beginning of the Stalker promotion campaign, and the community was pissed off. Ubisoft tried a couple of times, and again, the community also was pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, but they also integrated it in like a dumb way. It's like Ubisoft allowed people to mint their helmets. For what? I think like when a lot of these companies they minted NFTs, and what's the purpose of it? Like what is the purpose of these NFTs? Like we're not minting NFTs. We're giving utility to existing NFTs. Right? And I think that's a huge difference over the companies that you described, whether it's like the Stalker team or the Ghost Recon team, which was the one at Ubisoft that did stuff with NFTs.
Okay, I
Right.
see your point. I mean, okay.
I think like NFTs that have no utility, like they shouldn't be NFTs to begin with. It's like, what's the point? It's like having an in-game item that you can't use in the game. Like, what's the point? So I think it's just about us using NFTs for the right reason, or using blockchain tech for the right reason. Like for this prize pool, right? When people win this, we're starting off this prize pool with $100,000, right? When people win this prize pool, they can get paid instantly through smart contracts. Like that's just one example of blockchain tech being used in a way that you couldn't do otherwise, right? You cannot do that, right? You would have to go through some wire transfer via a normal bank, and maybe they get paid the next day. But usually with these companies, because it's so operationally intensive to do these mass payments, right? They say, you know what, I'll only pay you if you've made more than $100, and I'll pay you like in 30 days or 60 days. I mean, just look at Steam or Roblox or any of these other like platforms with UGC economies, right? So we're actually trying to use NFTs and Web3 tech for the right reason. And we'll just continue showing the community day after day that that's what we're doing.
Okay. Thank you for your answer.
So looks like no one else wanna go to stage. Oh,
We got one more. We
yeah,
got a few more, but let's keep it going.
So hello. I have a few questions. So I'm wondering, on release, will there be any new weapons and maps for PvP right at the release of the game?
I think, Andre, I pinged you about this. We should see what type of unused content we have and see if there is some low-hanging fruit. But again, I think this is like a big discussion between designers and devs, like what makes sense. But Testo, what we were talking about earlier is the focus is really on like PvE, like at first, because that is by far, I think the mode that is easiest for players to get introduced to. I think with PvP, unless the player base is much larger, right, and unless we can do some sort of matchmaking or like walled garden, it's really, really tough, for a new player to come in and just get wrecked immediately. So that's why it's just definitely really important to focus on the most casual friendly mechanics first until the player base is stable, and after that you can do a million things, like new maps, new modes, new whatever. But I think this is a matter of focus right now.
Okay. And the other question is, I couldn't really understand it. So you said the NFTs aren't minted in Shatterline. So how are they created?
They already exist. You can just go on the market, any marketplace, and buy one. If you own one already, that's what I'm saying. These heavy metal owners, Gabe ate, but he has 700 of them. So if you need one, I'm sure Gabe will delegate to you so you can play with one. You should, you can DM there, but yeah, they already exist. They're on marketplaces. Well, there's 30,000 of them that exist in total. So what we're doing is we're using NFTs to bring in communities of passionate players that own these NFTs into the game. But this is not about minting new NFTs from Shatterline that have no use.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks. I think that's all.
Cool.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey.
I just had a quick question and clarification. If you guys could, I just want to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding. Just some context. I have approximately 1,800 hours in the game. Been playing it since it came to Steam Early Access back in 2022. I have effectively everything unlocked, all weapons maxed. I've more or less bought everything in the store in support of the game because I, strongly believed in it. Is all that going to be lost, or is any of that retained? I'm just curious because I invested a fair amount into the game, time and money wise, and I just want to make sure that wasn't entirely being wasted or wiped.
Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but we're putting together like some migration options. All of the content and all of your account stats realistically will not be like migrated over one for one, but we're going to present the community with some options that we think would be would be good and realistic for us to accomplish development wise. Like this is quite a significant move. It's moving from Steam, which is like a pretty walled off platform, to Epic.
Right. Yeah, because I've seen other games that have done this where, and just for further context, we've not been promised guarantees that we'd be able to keep everything. We've mostly gotten, we'll do what we can, and if we lose stuff, we can't guarantee anything, but we'll do what we can for you guys to keep what you have, which is fine. But I know of other games where they've been in either beta or open beta. You lose all your progress, and you get to be fair, kind of a piddly reward, like an hour of double XP boost and some random recolor of a skin. And that's your compensation for doing it. But in this particular instance, since the game has been out for so long on early access on Steam, it's not like a normal beta test of a normal game where it's only out for a couple days or a couple weeks for people to play. People have invested a fair amount of money and time into the game. Like I said, in my case, approximately 1,800 hours. I just want to make sure that, and again, in some ways, this might come off as a little conceited and narcissistic, but I kind of want to feel like my time and investment, money and time that I put in, is not going to be just compensated with a glorified gift box.
Yeah, no, we totally hear you. We're going to put together some options, and I think just stay tuned on Discord, and we'll do some poll or something here. So yeah, we'll put together some realistic options here, and then it'll be up to the community to choose the preferred one.
Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me the time.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Hello, me again. So surprisingly, I actually have more of a question for Faraway this time, and that's
Let's do it.
We know that we're going to Epic Games. Obviously, you've spoken to me about Epic Games testing, and that will be open to everybody. I didn't hear it mentioned at all anywhere else, so I was hoping maybe you can expand on that a little bit to everybody else while they're here, maybe get them a little bit excited to not be away from the game for that long.
Yeah. So I guess it won't be. We can't do like a mass player testing, but we will be holding play tests. We'll just need to invite players to the play test, and I'm sure like Andre can run through this process. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing closed off about this testing. We want people to continue to play the game. They can stream the game. They can do whatever they want here. But yeah, we'll be holding some play tests. I think Andre, we were talking about maybe something like mid-August or late August, something like that, when there's a release build cut. But yeah, we'd love to get players that haven't played previously into the playtest, as well as existing players who can hopefully, show some of these new players like how to play and explain some of the mechanics. So yeah,
Now, I do-
playtest upcoming.
Now, I do understand that obviously heavy metal NFT owners do get a little bit more prioritization in terms of getting into these tests. What is the metrics you're going to be using to let in actual Shatterline players? Is there going to be an hour requirement, an experience requirement, anything like that?
I mean, I'm just going to speak off the cuff right here, but I think we're probably just going to use a combination of hours played. Maybe there's some metrics that we can go into, like these have been like good community members that have been helpful, or there's like, hey, these are people that are PvP experts versus PvE experts. There's a variety of probably heuristics that we'll look at, but like, please, if you are interested in playtests, like we'll figure out what the max quantity of people we can get per playtest is before it just becomes like unwieldy. But then, yeah, we'd love for players to come in. So I think just continue helping out of the Discord, continue providing feedback, and yeah, we definitely would love some existing Shatterline players to show the ropes to the new players.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's it from me. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Stay tuned for more of these playtest announcements.
Hello. You mentioned about hello again. So you mentioned about those payout data points. How will the wallet linking or like the payout deal work? Will you have to create a Fraglab account and link my wallet that way, or will this
good
reward
question.
be? Yeah, how will I be paid out? Will I be obligated to create an account, or how will this work?
Yeah, it's a great question. So Faraway, we have an account system that Fraglab is integrating. So you'll see this continue with Faraway button. The same way, Google has a continue with Google button. Like you click that, you create your account with your email, and then you can automatically create a Faraway wallet. So you don't need to have an existing wallet. You just click two buttons and you'll automatically have a blockchain wallet that's attached to your email. So yeah, absolutely no reason to create a MetaMask or a Phantom wallet.
And will this wallet will you be able to send money from this wallet outside to like your treasure or like other things that you own, or do I other Coinbase or do Binance?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with it. Yeah. So basically, it's your wallet. Yeah. It's your wallet. There's like a phrase in crypto. It's like, your keys, your crypto. So it's called like a self-custodial wallet. You own the wallet. We can't access it at all. If you want, you can export your wallet key and put it into MetaMask or anything. Or if you receive crypto, whether it's NFTs or fungible tokens to that wallet, you do whatever you want with it. So you send it to Coinbase or Binance or whatever. It's up to you. It's your wallet. It's just attached to your email. So I mean, at Faraway, we've just tried to make the whole process of Web3 tech and NFTs just as in the background as possible. Like our view is it's just technology, and the technology shouldn't be front and center. It should just be in the background, and the thing that should be front and center should be the game.
Thank you.
Cool.
Good evening. I have a question about the transfer over of like what you keep when we move from Steam to Epic. And please correct me if I misunderstood anything about this. So the skins I currently have on Steam, do I keep those when moving to Epic?
Not all of them, and not all of the progress. But over the next, few weeks, we'll put together some options that, of what we can do from like a migration standpoint, and then the community will choose from those options. That's the only thing. We still need to do a pretty big dive into all of the different complexities of moving from, Epic to Steam. But yeah, we promise to give you guys some options. You choose from those options, and that's what we'll do.
So, what is the deciding factor between what skins will be transferred over and which ones are not?
We're doing I think there's going to be a pretty big like content and just overall like rebalancing of where content comes from. So I think once we get that done, we'll understand the constraints that we're working with, and that's what will inform those options that we provide to the community. But I think let us do some of our own homework first. Let's see what's possible, and what won't break sort of the upcoming designs for where content is coming from, like after the Epic Games Store launch.
All right, and then I have another question, and I'm not 100% sure because I think I've read this somewhere, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I've read somewhere that the store items will be put off, or maybe that was whenever the early access closes down. But right now, if I buy another skin on the store, would I get that on Epic, or should I just hold off on buying anything right now?
I don't think you can buy anything right now. I think, Andre, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think purchases are disabled, aren't they?
Monetization is disabled for a while. You cannot spend real money anymore, but some players might have leftovers of hard currency, or they could earn it somewhere.
Okay, then I
So, yeah.
just misseen it because I still had the premium currency, and that's where the confusion came from.
Yep. I mean, you can do whatever you want, I assume, with the premium currency, but that doesn't inform something being transferred or not transferred. I think this migration plan will propose a few options, and you guys can choose the best option.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we're almost over here.
Who wants to be the final countdown?
Yeah, there will be the last question. Lumix.
Hello.
Hey.
My question is there any plan of implementing a server browser or a matchmaking browser so we don't have to sit in queue for seemingly hours? At least for the
like a
PvP.
Faceit? Is it like a Faceit, or is this like something else?
Just a list of running on open lobbies instead of putting us into a queue, because, for example, right now there are like 3 or 5 active lobbies on PvP, and I sit in a queue for 10 to 15 minutes, and I could just click on one of the lobbies and join them automatically or instantly.
Different servers, you mean, right? Like
He's talking about a lobby with rooms that show how filled they are versus like a match.
yeah, those can be like very gamed, like exploited, where they become like these kill rooms. So I assume that's. I mean, yeah, I think that would be pretty tricky. I think maybe doing. I'm not going to say like this is coming or not coming, but somebody mentioned like private rooms or custom rooms. I think lobbies make sense in the terms of like some creator wants to do some custom room. But I think if we're involving progression, right, people are getting resources or people are winning things that can be used in like the meta game outside of that lobby, then I think these lobbies become, very gameable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we do not plan to add through browser for like normal games. The thing is that matchmaking actually does a job of like finding you the room closest to you with like normal players of relatively your skill in the shortest possible time. But yeah, online right now is not that high. and there are multiple entry points. So sometimes in some game modes you have to wait a while. That's true, and that's gonna be fixed with online, like with the growing audience on release.
Yeah, my problem with that is that this balancing system never works properly. I posted a feedback here on the Discord with a massive amounts of screenshots from matches that show how bad the system is, especially with a low player base.
I think that's the
This is
reason why, though, right? It's just the low player
sorry.
base. Sorry, Andre, go ahead.
Yeah, and low player base is the reason why it is turned off right now.
Yeah, but like I queue on 4 different servers, all modes, and still have to wait 10 minutes to get into the same match with the people I was in the last match.
Right, because it tries like from perspective of the server trying to pick first players who is closest to him. Like if I'm the server in North America, I prioritize player from North America first. If I'm server from Europe, I prioritize player from Europe first. And if you like playing in low time in your region, yeah, like when you playing like when it is night time in Europe but peak time in the US, and you try to matchmake to US server, you will wait way longer than American players.
Lumix, is your point basically like you played with somebody in one game? Like, why does it take so long to play with those same people in another game? Like, if you're all online and maybe all on the phone together, is that sort of your question?
My point is that I understand why the system is in place, but this system should not be in place right now in this current situation.
So
it should be
your argument,
temporarily removed.
yeah, your argument is it would be faster matchmaking if there wasn't segmentation that like separated by geo and kind of elo and all these other factors.
Right.
So that's what's taking a longer time to match.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have a problem with it if we had more players and the system would work properly, but at the moment it's should not be in the game.
Yeah, this is why Faraway guys are here. Like together we wanna bring more players to the game and make sure this won't be an issue.
Yeah, I think what we can what we can do is we can take that. This sounds like feedback, so we can add it to that list of feedback and go back and discuss. But I think like the general, I think we all agree that this is solved with scale. I think your point is that before there's scale, it's a question of priorities. Are we prioritizing elo and kind of like geolocation, or are we prioritizing fast matchmaking? So that's I'd say a question for us to go back and discuss. But I think we understand your point.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, that was everything from my side.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we should finish for today. Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you for your questions, and thank you for being with Shatterline for 2 years. And I'm sure that the future will be very, very fun and good. And thank you, Alex. Thank you, Spencer, coming here.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, excited. Excited for the future here. And yeah, please, everybody, send your feedback. And we promise to be here and be transparent with stuff. So yeah, thanks for having us.
Yep, thanks for having us. Looking forward to partnering both as a community and as kind of a collective, game operator here and delivering something really awesome. And I think, as mentioned before, we will show up to deliver, and then we'll see the result, and it's the outcome is a byproduct of us doing a great job. So that's on us to kind of execute. So looking forward to doing that. with the community at the same time and being transparent all the way down the road to official launch.
Okay.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
That was a marathon, but the thing is, that was a great conversation. It was great to see, you know, some of these really core members of Shatterline show up and ask, you know, a multitude of different questions. Good questions. You know, I thought overall a lot of information, a lot of just trying to cut through some of the maybe fear or confusion that was happening, which is exactly what, you know, an AMA, a Q&A should be. And so, Justin, what's your, I guess, over high level view takeaway from the 2-hour AMA today?
Yeah, wow. I would say a lot of really hard questions, like just tough overall for the community. Completely understand.
Yep.
Just game balancing and trying to get more players to improve matchmaking, as well as like what content is supposed to like come in the next couple of updates. That's probably something very probably I'd be stressed as well. Like that's something
Right.
that's really important. Um, you know, again, the transition to Epic Games from Steam and how do things migrate. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I know that they mentioned that they would give some options with regards to how that would, kind of convert over. Just we're just gonna have to wait and see. I mean, if you like the game, I mean, we just gotta have more players. I mean, yeah, I'm just looking forward, honestly, really, just for like the tournaments, more people, more streamers, more games and more utility, and whatever they bring out of the features that would be really good. What about you?
No, I agree. I think at the root of it is, number one, definitely hear the concern of the folks that, obviously have played the game for a while and getting it over to Epic. But really, honestly, the foundational part is they're making a decision as an entire team with regard to the community too. It's not like, the thing is, some games they would have just done this. There would have been no AMA. There have been no Q&A. You couldn't go into the Discord and ask questions. There would be pretty much nothing, right? Hands off. This is them, being transparent, opening it up. And at the end of the day, we just need more players for Shatterline. And I'll just double tap on what Alex and Spencer were saying, because it's true. The folks that have been here for a minute with specific to NFTs, this is not a scam for us, right? Those of us that are here to actually play like fun games and experiences, it is not a scam at all. It's something that hopefully, drives more eyeballs and more fun to the amazing player base that's there, right? Obviously, they've been there for a long time, and I can understand the hesitancy, because what happens typically is when you hear crypto, NFTs, maybe you've heard about it on some YouTube stream that has 1 million viewers, that they're all scams. I'm here to tell you they are definitely not. I've been in NFTs and crypto from the very beginning of 2021. And what Faraway is doing here with the integration, I think, is just really, really great. And so I'm excited about it. Change is hard 100%. And there's things that they're still going to have to take feedback. They're still going to, there are still tough decisions to be made. But what I'll say for anyone that's, maybe nervous about it, anxious about it, is this team, Faraway, and the Shatterline team, they're there to try to answer your questions, gather feedback. They're not just saying that. The Faraway team wants to gather feedback. They don't want to just come in here, bulldoze everything, and say like NFTs, everyone must buy them and mint them. They're already minted. The heavy metals, they're already minted. People own them. You don't have to have them if you don't want them. And so it's just like, for me, I thought it was a great conversation. We should be, bonding at some point together with the, non-NFT people and the NFT people. And I know that takes time for sure. But at the end of the day, what we should want for a game that they love and we are going to fall in love with is more players. More players equals more fun, more rewards. All of that adds up. More eyeballs, more streamers, like you said. And so it's all, it all, falls in line. So at the end of the day, tough conversations, good questions, but I thought it was a really great conversation overall. Truly. Thanks for stopping by, Ibrahim, Joe, Gabe. What's up, Gabe? Gabe getting called out on the AMA stage, baby. My guy, Gabe. Man, any other last thoughts? Otherwise, we are going to wrap. Also, for those of us that want to watch the recording, it'll obviously be live and living here on X, but here over the weekend and definitely next week, you'll see some smaller cut ups that Justin and I will be doing for all of you, because that's what we're about. We're about content, information, spreading awareness, all that matters. And so just keep your eyes peeled. We'll be trying to do a bunch of this to help Shatterline, to help Faraway, and to help the community, because that's what we're about. So Justin, any last thoughts before we wrap this thing?
Raw, I just want to play the games.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, yeah, I'm just ready to game. And whether it's, Shatterline, Super Vive, anything I've been playing over the past couple of, weeks on my channel, more. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be good. Damn, what an AMA.
More. It was a great AMA. And again, a tip of the cap and shout out to Shatterline, the entire community, the team there, as well as, of course, our friends Alex and Spencer with Faraway. So with that, make sure you subscribe. DM us if you have questions. If you have something that you want to highlight in the space, we are here to do that. We are here to network with you, with Board Networking Company. Like, subscribe, retweet, all that stuff is free, which is super dope. With that, I want to say thank you to Justin, Mr. Otherguide, as well as the entire community for being here. We will talk to you very soon. Enjoy your amazing weekend. Stay bored.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?